role in blood, then let me just remind you that not only did Keith Taylor get 22% in the last general election, not only in the European elections did we get 27% in the last European elections, not only in the last local elections did we get 30% ahead of all the other parties, doubling our number of councillors, but in November in the Regency by-election war, Jason kicked out big hand, 41% of the vote ahead of all the other parties. Record. We have those figures, we can demonstrate that we have every expectation and belief that we will win Brighton Pavilion at the next general election. But that breakthrough at Westminster won't just be good for the Greens in Brighton. It will increase the authority and the credibility and the profile of the Green Party throughout the whole country. And that's why for us this campaign is a national campaign with a national objective, electing Britain's first Green MP. It's not a campaign limited to Brighton. And in many ways, I'd argue that working hard for breakthrough in Brighton is the best way to help all of your own local party electoral aspirations, wherever you are in the UK. Because the... Thank you, go on. Because the spin-offs in terms of our profile and our credibility and our authority, I think, will be felt countrywide. And crucially, it will also pave the way for more Green MPs, fantastic Green MPs, as we're hearing here, because we know that each time you get Greens elected, people like what they see, and they elect more. So what can you do to help? Well, you can come and be part of making history, because winning our first Westminster seat is a project for the whole party, not just for Brighton. Let me give you a small advertisement for these leaflets. If you haven't seen them yet, then there's something wrong with your eyesight. Go to your optician. These leaflets are everywhere and they tell you how you can help, because we want people to come to Brighton. We want you to help with leafleting, with canvassing. If you can't get to Brighton, there's still lots you can do with telephone canvassing, with collecting a whole load of telephone numbers for us. It's been worked out it'll take about 150 hours to get all the phone numbers we need to set against the electoral register. If you can't do any of those and you're still feeling very generous, or if you want to do this as well, then you can give us some money. Please, again, on the back of here there's some examples of how you can give money. You can go to the Brighton and Hove Green Party stall here, where we even have sticks of rocks, so don't say that Brighton and Hove Green Party doesn't look after you. But to get power for green policies and green ideas is what we're about. If people say, why do we want to get elected? It's power for our ideas. And as I said yesterday, never has an opposition with radical vision and political courage and practical policies been more urgently needed. Never has the muddy middle ground of the rest of the policies from the great parties been left up to the job. And I gave some examples yesterday on the free market, for example. Nowhere else do we have any political party genuinely challenging the neoliberal economics of the free market. Nowhere else do we have... Nowhere else do we have the principled stand against replacing our Trident nuclear weapons system. Nowhere else do we have the kind of rigorous package of policies and the commitment to tackle climate change. And I don't think it is just idle rhetoric to say that only the Green Party has the courage to face those real issues, and only the Green Party has the vision and the practical policies to really address them today. But let me just finish by saying a few words about what difference elected Greens can make. What do we offer? When it comes to the actual legislative process, one or two Green MPs in Westminster aren't going to swing very many majorities. But we can still make a big difference, and we already are in the places where we are elected, like in the European Parliament. So, for example, in the European Parliament, my report on aviation emissions actually made the proposal that if they were insisting on putting it into the emissions trading system, at the very least it shouldn't be a system whereby aviation can go on buying up the right to emit from other sectors ad infinitum, basically getting off the hook by paying others to try to emit less themselves. We said that what they should have is a closed system. If British Airways and Virgin Airways want to buy themselves from each other, that's fine, but not outside that programme. Now that actually got passed. It was my proposal, it was supported by the Greens, and then a majority of the European Parliament actually supported that. And that is what we're taking forward now into the next legislative process, to try to keep restrictions on the amount aviation can buy from the emissions trading system. It sounds technical, but it really is crucial if we're serious about reducing aviation emissions. On things like health, again, it's a suite of green amendments that have made the point when it comes to talking about cancer and health that we need to talk about genuine prevention, and that means looking at the environmental causes of cancer, the chemicals in our environment, the pesticides in our environment. It was really interesting when Gordon Brown said he was in favour of a preventative health system, and then you looked at what he was actually proposing. What he was proposing was simply screening. Now, screening is very good, but that isn't really preventative. Preventative is making sure that you don't have the contaminants in the environment in the first place. And our amendments on that